Hi, Happy New Year's Eve, 2022. You know, they say when you do a vlog or some kind of video post that you should have a clear message in mind. But I don't really know what my message is. I kind of do these more like I would a journal entry where you just start and go somewhere and finish somewhere else. And I think the intent of doing this today is because I am personally contemplating endings and beginnings and the ever-present now. And I want to do it out loud because I've got all kinds of thoughts swirling in my head, and I imagine if you're on a hard journey, like caring for someone with cancer or struggling with cancer yourself or struggling with something like climate change where, you know, the end is, you know, it's a little fuzzy. So with that in mind, I spent this morning, maybe you call it Swedish death cleaning, purging, I'm not sure what. I felt like I just needed to get shit out of my house, to get shit put away, to like open up space for something new to come in at the stroke of midnight tonight, when the year will shift from 2022 to 2023. I feel so ready for something new. I feel so ready to embrace different. And I'm really aware that it's not just going to happen. Like, it doesn't just happen because the clock strikes 12 or 1 year ends and a new year begins. In past years, I've spent a lot of time at the end of the year and the beginning of the year, like journaling and kind of writing my way into completion and collaging my way into the new. I highly recommend it if you haven't done it before. It's a really beautiful, mindful way to bring closure and to create what you want to step into. At least that's how it's been for me. And so the past few days, I've just sat at my desk at night looking at something that I wrote 2 years ago and collaged. And I'm like, wow, it's still the same. Like, the part of me that was speaking to create that vision and had those desires, that's still in me. And then I felt this temptation over the past few days to feel like, woe is me, what the hell happened? Like, I feel like those dreams and aspirations got hijacked a little bit. And I asked my daughter, I said, when did I do this? Because we do it together, and they create their own collages. And I said, when did I create this? When did I write this and put these images together? And she said, 2 years ago. I was like, what the hell? Like, what happened to this past year? I mean, I thought that was just January a year ago. And so part of what comes to mind for me is like how fast time goes, like how quickly our time passes. And, you know, to really like live consciously and with intention. The other thing that I was mindful of is just how like caring for someone or living, you know, with, if it's you yourself who has a chronic, you know, something chronic going on with your body, or you're caring for someone who does, like, it can just swallow you up. It can take your energy and swallow you into a vacuum. And I think, I was just looking at all of the things that I created, and one of the things that was really beautiful for me was like, at the heart of it, I want to help people. I want to help people navigate hard times. I want to help people figure out how to find meaning and purpose in the midst of a changing planet. I also want to help people find meaning and purpose in the midst of personal struggles. And all the rest of the stuff was just like the way to get to that, the way to be able to do that, ideas that I had for how that would come about. And on June 7th, June 8th, June 9th, kind of in that time frame when everything started shifting, I really began to see the parallels between dealing with cancer and the crisis of cancer and dealing with climate change and the crisis of climate change for our planet and for what it means for us as individuals. And when I started doing these vlogs, I was just like, you know what? I don't know when time's going to open up again for me to do what I feel drawn to do. So I'm going to figure out a way to do it in the midst of this. And talking openly about my process feels like a really good place to start, because I'm smack in the middle of navigating a hard time. And if I can figure out how to find meaning and purpose and hope within this, health crisis journey that I'm navigating with my husband, then I know that I can actually help people do it in the midst of their own crisis, whether that's concern for the planet or whether it's something personal that's going on. And it's really important to me to speak from my own experience, because there are books and all kinds of how-tos and do this and do that and the 10-step process and whatever. And I feel like personal story is so vital, whether it's mine or someone else's. Just like the fact that we can, like, there's proof. And I thought that in the past, like, if one other person can do it, then I can do it. I've thought that when I have, stepped on personally, like, chosen hard journeys, like biking the Andes or, biking up over really steep mountain passes with all of my stuff in tow and thinking, how the hell am I going to do this? But if one other person could do it, then my body could figure out how to do it too. I thought that on a spiritual path. Like, if other people could get through hard, challenging moments, then I could too. And I think that's true for all of us everywhere. I think I'm drawn to working with people who are physically challenged because, holy shit. I mean, have you seen people who like have, lost one or more of their body parts, and they can do miraculous, like, crazy things with the body parts that they have left. And the human, like, our capacity to thrive in the midst of hardship is amazing. And I probably speak about it because I have to remind myself, like, when I feel drawn or tempted to go down, there's so much more in me that's so much bigger than that momentary temptation. And I just have to find my way back to it. And talking my way through some of these hard moments and these vlogs is partly how I do it. And I think you can do that too. Like, turn to somebody that you know and share your hard moment. Share what's going on inside of you so that you can get through it and get to the other side and feel like that's called transformation. And I think the gift of telling our stories to each other is that we come out different on the other side. We make connections through the stories that we tell. Mostly we do it for ourselves. So, contemplating endings and beginnings, I'm not really sure what's ending. Cancer is going to be around for a good while. Beginnings. You know, when we moved to the farm, we had an idea for something that we wanted to do, which feels like a beginning that we never actually got to start. And that's like opening our farm up for farm stays and for Tim to teach people how to do a lot of the stuff that he does and rustic Italian cooking. And I feel like that's really something that is speaking to my heart right now, because one thing that's got to end at the, soon is me doing a lot of the labor here. And I know coming into the spring, like last summer, I had lots of friends and family come to help, which was amazing. But I feel like we need a more permanent solution if we're going to continue to ride out this journey here on the farm. And so I am chewing on like having a few people come in, like people who want to come and stay and learn the ropes of small scale farming, regenerative farming. Women, young women especially, because I think one of the things that I've heard for young women, the challenges of getting started with farming is land ownership and having a space on which to practice and get their start. And so I'm speaking this out in the open because I need to find out if it's like, I don't know, is it something that anyone would be interested in? Would anyone be interested in like coming and exchanging, some room and board for working the land? And I'm not sure what that would look like, but I'm speaking it out loud because I have to, because doing this all by ourselves has to end. A new beginning is really like permanently opening us up to accepting not just help, but like partnership in a new way that is not only regenerative for our land, but regenerative for us as like tenants and, humans who reside on this land. And so it's kind of a big thing. Yeah. Felt kind of good to say that out loud. I've told Tim and I've told the girls that it's something that I want to open to if we're going to stick around here. So now I'm just saying it out loud. So there will be more to come on that front. What are you bringing to an end? What's in your heart to begin? What does that look like for you? How do you manifest that? Like, what do you do to bring that into fruition? And I'm inviting you to like really lean into it. What do you need to purge so that you can create space to like contemplate and bring in the new? Where do you feel stuck? Where do you feel like internally rubbed and stuck? And what does that feel like for you? I know when I feel stuck, it feels horrible. And I just want to like, but kind of feels good to just like let it out and let that serve as momentum to move into the new. So 2023, I'm ready for you. Totally ready for you. And for anyone who's listening to this, like, I just want to wish you blessings and peace and love and an amazing new beginning. Lean into your heart if it's hard that your heart is calling you to. And when you lean in, I think a whole lot of ease comes because I think the hardest part is just like trusting, letting go and trusting. All right. Happy New Year, almost. Peace to you and yours. I wish you safety and Godspeed.